welcome to Video Game Memories, and today I want to share my memories with the one and only Paprium. Now, I discovered Paprium last year, and I know that sounds bad, especially coming from a Sega Mega Drive fan and a beat 'em ups fan. Yeah, I just never knew the game existed prior to that, because I never really followed or knew who water games were. I did see their previous game on eBay a few times, PS Solar, and I heard that was a good little RPG, but I never really followed the indie market much back then. And yeah, and I just never really heard anything or saw anything about it until I saw on Facebook, and a few people had got their emails that their game was going to be shipped, and I'm like, what's this Paprium? And did a bit of research, and it was definitely my cup of tea, and the game looked pretty amazing from the footage that I saw, and I just never knew that it existed. It puzzles me how I've been collecting all these years, and I never saw a post or no one mentioned to me, about Paprium, and yeah, I couldn't believe it. In one way it was good, because then unfortunately for a lot of the initial people that pre-ordered the game, all the controversy, and I think it took 5 years of development and all that, all that waiting. In a way it was good that I didn't have to go through that trauma like a lot of other people did, but I also missed out of initially to be able to pre-order the game at the start, and for obviously a cheaper price. So I did put a pre-order in December last year, and reading about the companies, the way they've treated people, and all the controversy that they've had with their bank and their PayPal, and a lot of people, so I know a few people have lost money, or their game was never delivered to them after talking to them about Paprium. So I know there was a bit of a risk pre-ordering the game, but I thought, you know what, I'll pre-order it, and I'll quickly jump on the secondary market and pick up an extra copy, and then if my pre-order does get fulfilled, then I could always sell that one to another fellow collector or someone who missed out. Unfortunately, as of what are we now, in August 2021, Watermelon's Games website is not functioning at the moment, and we have no idea what's happened to those pre-orders that we've made in around the December. So fingers crossed that they can deliver and get those pre-orders out to everyone. So what I did was I ended up picking up these 2 copies on eBay straight away, and this is the collector's edition, and this is just the standard. I'll talk quickly about the covers and my process of obtaining these 2 games. So yeah, I picked these 2 games on eBay Australia. They were listed. The price wasn't too bad. It was still a bit expensive, but it wasn't too bad. And in my mind I was thinking, with the controversy with the company prior, better to pick these up quick, because the prices are gonna go up even more due to demand and scarcity, because it did look like an amazing game from the initial videos and photos that I saw, and it is truly amazing, and that's what's happened. So I could easily sell these 2 copies now and make some good money, but it's not what I wanted to do. I bought the 2 copies because it was a good deal at the time, and Afterpay. So let's talk about this one quickly. I know that a lot of people have covered it already on YouTube. It is a really nice box, and negatives being it's very flimsy, and obviously it would be nice if this was all enclosed. And the main problem with this one is the game is actually like in a foil kind of packaging, which I know what it's meant to represent. It's meant to represent like you're popping a peel, because in the game, you know, you take those peels, the blue peels, that they make your character stronger and invincible for a little while. I can see what it was trying to resemble, but unfortunately, it kind of ruins the packaging once you remove the game. And also, it's got that shaky bit of metal in there as well. But what I did was I just put a little bit of packing in there and I just shut it, and it's fine. And initially, what Fonzie said in the interview was, I think all the games went into a cold storage, or the ship or something went through where there was a lot of snow or something, ice, and he thinks that the temperature could have affected, you know, the glue that was holding it. But that's no big deal, it doesn't affect anything. And obviously this, I recommend this copy because, you know, it's in a standard clamshell. It's more, you know, you don't want to be taking the game in and out of this all the time. It's just going to damage the packaging. That's why I kept this one sealed. Oh, it's been opened, but I keep it in there on display, and I use pretty much this copy. And this does come with the poster and stickers as well, and the manual. So it's just that the poster is a bit smaller. So the thing about Paprium, and this is probably going to upset some people, but people that have played the game in depth, because you really need to play this game in depth to fully understand and see everything. I actually rate it higher than Streets of Rage 4. I believe the Paprium is a better game. One reason is because when I first played Streets of Rage 4, I played it for a few days and I just kind of got a bit bored with it after a little while. I preferred to play the original trilogy, whereas with Paprium, once I put that in, I played that for nearly 2 months straight. Every day I was playing to the point where I damaged the B button on my Mega Drive. The membrane inside just tore apart because I was just hammering that B button so much. The setting's really good in Paprium, you know, punk post-apocalyptic world, and the character designs are really good. There's a lot of Streets of Rage influence there, like with some of the enemy designs, some of the levels. There's a lot of Streets of Rage Easter eggs, and there are some other video game Easter eggs there too. So another thing too, what I like about Paprium more than Streets of Rage 4 is the graphics. You know, we've got 16-bit graphics here. It truly feels to me like a sequel of Streets of Rage 3. Just feels like, because of the graphics. Whereas in Streets of Rage 4, like, it looks nice, it's pretty and everything, but I'm not a fan of the new style of those graphics. I do prefer the old style more. So that's why it kind of, you know, it felt more natural to me than Streets of Rage 4. The levels are really good. You got multiple levels, split paths. The game can get confusing how to get to the final areas and the final boss. So pretty much you got like 3 levels in the game. You got your mid levels, your bottom levels, and like your higher levels. And in each of those sections, there's like you can call it like a mid boss. You got like a mid boss. And for example, you've probably seen footage of the police sergeant, well, the chief actually, sorry, the chief. He's the boss in the mid sections. So what you got to do is you got to beat these bosses with your character, and then you got to thrown them. So once you've thrown that particular character, that character's locked out. You can't use that character anymore with the storyline. And then you got to go back and finish that whole section again, 3 times, because those throned characters will give you missions, and you do that 3 times for each level. So 3 times for the bottom, 3 times for the mid, 3 times for the higher level, and then you can once you've completed all those missions, then you can get to the final areas of the game. But yeah, those 3 characters that you use, they're locked out. So you do obtain another, with the story mode, I think there's another 2 or 3 you can obtain. One of them is in extra hard mode, I think. Yeah. So it's a bit cumbersome, hard to get the true ending, and the game does not really explain that. So you can replay it so many times and just not do the right thing and not achieve anything. And but the good thing is it all saves, and you can, when you play an arcade, you can kind of pick which level to start from, and you can kind of just go whatever branching path you want, because there's a lot of branching paths in this game. And like I said, those mid-level bosses, there's 3 of them, and then you've got the main boss, the true boss, which is 4. So technically you could, especially once you've unlocked everything and you go into arcade mode, you can just play the game, go through different paths and reach a different end boss. And it could be like maybe 6 levels, or it could be up to 11 levels. So the mixing of the levels on that is really good. There's a lot of hidden rooms, hidden stages. They've got a Streets of Rage 1 level 2 stage, and Golden Axe 3 the desert stage, which was stage, I think that was stage 3 or 4, I can't remember. So little things thrown in like that. Yeah, there's a lot of secrets in there. That's what I really liked about it. I just wanted to, unearth this next thing and see this next thing that I didn't see, and yeah, you can unlock the music mode like a jukebox, and you can play all the songs. And there's an arena mode as well. You just have to see how long you can last without dying, like a battle arena, and goes through different levels and different music. The replayability is top notch. The only thing that Streets of Rage 4 does better, in my opinion, is obviously the enemy IQ is much better in Streets of Rage 4, as in Paprium you can really cheese some of the characters. And also in Streets of Rage 4, your main characters have more moves. In Paprium they're a little bit limited with the moves, so if they had a few more moves, it would have been much better. But also in Paprium, you can go forward and backward into the settings. Like there's like stages where there's water, and you can kind of go through the water, and heaps of places to throw characters into. There's heaps of pits. You can throw them off elevators. It has that classic feel to it, like especially in Streets of Rage 1 and 3, where you can throw a lot of the enemies. The weapons are good weapons. You can ride certain vehicles, kind of like Golden Axe 3 and Golden Axe series, similar to that, which is good. It is very controversial. There are themes in the game that could offend some people, and it makes me think it'd be very hard to release this as a digital release without some of the themes maybe a bit offensive. So I don't know about that, but that's what makes the game really good as well, because it's a bit controversial like that, and it can offend maybe a few people that are very sensitive. I really like that about the game. There's no way this would have been released back in the day if it was an official Sega Mega Drive title. And like I mentioned, the music is top notch, very synth. I've actually YouTube to MP3 the whole soundtrack. I got it on my phone. I listened to it heaps. I wish that when they did release the game, they released a soundtrack. Then I hope, you know, they can sort out all their problems and they can start making the game available to everyone again, and yeah, just make a record or a CD, even cassette. I'm down with, and yeah, I love to have the soundtrack with really high quality, and yeah, like yeah, it's got a lot of good ideas in this. If they had a little bit more money and time, they could have really polished it up hard. So absolutely love this game. It's a lot of fun. You got 2-player action. A lot of love was put into this, and a lot of Streets of Rage love. Like, there is so many Streets of Rage references to this, and you can see, you know, like the love for Streets of Rage in this game. Just so many references. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, one of the main goons that you fight, they kind of look like the Garcia guys. Not the Garcia guys, the Signal guys, the punks with the mohawk, and they do that, and they do their slide move as well. There's like a boss in this game where it's the 2 chicks, and they're exactly like the 2 chicks from Streets of Rage 1, the Blaze sisters, and obviously the 2 girls in Streets of Rage 3 in the level 2 in the bar. Those two chicks that always used to remind me of Rogue from X-Men with the hair. So there's a lot of love put into this. Like, you can see the love of Streets of Rage in this game. That's why it felt more like a Streets of Rage game to me than actually, you know, Streets of Rage 4. Like, another thing I didn't like about Streets of Rage 4 was some of their character designs I thought were a bit weak. Like the guys that have their hands in their pocket, and you know, that kind of robot guy that throws all the poles at ya. I thought that was a little bit weak. But in here you got these guys on, you know, they're on rollerblades, and they've got huge penises that are bulging out of their pants, so when they're spinning you can't grab them because their penis is kind of, you know, blocking ya. You know, you got the punks that look like Ash from Streets of Rage 3, you know, like they're, you know, in their tights, high heels, and they've got chains, and just, yeah, it's got a really good theme going to it, and that's what gives it its charm. Yeah, I do play these a lot. Oh, this one, anyway, this was on display. I do play them a lot, at least once a month. I'll throw it on and spend a few good hours enjoying the game. It is a really good beat 'em up. I just hope that you know, it becomes more accessible to people in the future, because yeah, it's a shame that so many people haven't been able to experience the game because of all the debacle that's happened with Watermelon Games. And yeah, please don't be angry if I offended any of you guys saying it's better than Streets of Rage 4. It's just my opinion. I'm a huge Streets of Rage fan. I'll be doing future videos on Streets of Rage, kind of like this one with my memories. Obviously there's more childhood memories there and so forth. But anyway, hope you enjoyed listening to me rant about my memories of Paprium, and I'll see you all soon.